Okay, I'm going to start the clogs, and basically what I've done so far is I've cut out 4 of the pattern, the clog pattern, the pump pattern, 4 of these. They didn't have to be the same, but I made them the same on this one. This one I did the dark green and the flowered Hawaiian print, but it's up to you, whatever you want. I cut out 4 of those, and I also cut out 2 pieces of the iron-on interfacing, because I'm going to make that my inside piece, and the reason I'm doing that is because if it crinkles up and it looks bad, it'll look bad only on the inside, not on the outside. The outside will be a smooth piece of fabric, so it's best to iron your fusing on the inside piece. So I got my iron going, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so those are my 2 inside pieces. Okay, I'm also going to need inner sole and the outer sole, and I've decided to go with this pink fabric, which is the same as I'm going to put with my trim here, and I'm just going to do that. I'm going to glue this on, and then I'm going to turn it under and glue it, and that'll be my inside sole. Because I've decided to do an actual pattern on these shoes, I've made myself some strips of just this plain pink fabric, and I've turned them in 1/8 of an inch on each side, and I'm going to create a design on these top pieces of my shoes. So because I tried to match as close as I could to the fabric, but I didn't have a really good choice. So I tried to get some big flowers as a mirror image side, so that when you put the shoes on, you're going to have a right and a left. I tried to do that on these, but as you can see, I didn't do very good. I tried to match some of the pink in the back just so it had the same, and it's not easy to do with a floral pattern, but if you want to do like a mirror image, just try and get as close as you can. So since I've got these, I'm going to sew exactly opposite on each one. So if I'm going to lay this one this way, I'm going to do the opposite on the other. So I've got these lined up, and I'm just going to eye them to make sure I can get them as close as possible. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to try and make this dead center in the middle. Why I'm doing that? Because I'm losing 1/4 here, and I'm losing 1/4 for the tuck under. Okay, so if you want, you can actually get your measuring out and measure these. So from this one, I'm 1.5 inches. So let's move that up to 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, and pretty much center. So let's pin that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go down 1.25 inches from the top. I'm going to get that centered in the middle of my fabric, and then I'm going to pin it again. Okay, and I'm going to take my alternating piece, and I'm going to decide where I want to put that one. So in this case, I wanted it to, since I'm going to be putting a flower right here in the side, I wanted it off to the side. I didn't want it in the middle. I kind of wanted it off to the side, so it was like over to the side on each one of these, but I don't know how that would work, so then I changed my mind and I decided I better go pretty much right to the center, so it would look like that. With the other piece too, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to put the flower there and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to top stitch these down, and then when I come back I'll trim my edges and sew these together and show you how to sew them together. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I got my strips of pink sewed on, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these edges off. And how I lined them up so they were the complete reverse image of the other, I turned it over and then I put my other on top, and I matched up my strips so they'd be exactly the same on each piece. Okay, so now that I've got that, I can go ahead and cut these off. This is all just decoration. It's not something you have to do. You can just use plain fabric. I'm just giving you ways you can enhance your shoes to be, you know, your personal designs. Okay. Right, so now I've got that. I'm going to take one of my inside pieces. I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to sew these two pieces together right down the neck. I'm going to sew this like this first before I sew my ends together, because it's too hard to sew these together and then try to make this seam. It's just, I tried it the first time, it's almost impossible because you really have to get that curve in there, and it's just a little too difficult. So it's just easier to do it this way. I'm using 1/4 inch seams. Okay, so then I sewed those together, and I'm going to do the same with the other one. Now to get this, before I turn this over, I'm going to have to trim these, not trim them, I'm going to have to clip these as very close together to get it to lay flat. So I did, for a regular sewer, you probably would only clip every 1/4 inch. Here I'm clipping it probably maybe a little bit over 1/8. But I'll let you know that the more you clip here, just make sure you don't clip the stitching. But the more you clip here, the smoother it's going to lay flat when you turn it inside out. I learned the hard way. I didn't put near enough clips on one of these, and it was terrible. It may seem excessive to you, and you may think you don't need this much. And if you don't, that's fine. I just I like it to have a lot of. I like it to lay flat. Okay, so now I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to sew these together. You can put one way. You can go up on one and down on the other. It really doesn't matter. You can put them both the same way, because they're going to come together anyway, regardless of how you do it. go ahead and put a pin there. Make sure they line up. Okay, and the same thing applies. I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so then now we can turn inside out and bring our design to the front. I like to open this up a little bit and lay it flat, and then bring this one down. Okay, and this is where we're going to determine whether or not we're happy with the way this lays together. Okay, if you find out that it doesn't lay the way you like it, then you need to go in and do some more clipping. Okay. I didn't do any top stitching on these because it's really hard to get in there to top stitch. You can do it, but it's very difficult. So what I ended up doing, I just ended up sewing like 1/8 of an inch to keep all my pieces together, to put it on my shoe base. So now all I gotta do is glue my bases together, and then I'll be able to glue my shoe onto my base, and I'll be able to center my flower at that point. And anyway, I'm going to stop there, and then when I come back, we'll finish off these shoes.